Testing, testing. Let's just make sure this is on. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. Well, it's Monday night, which normally means Soul Herder night, but I think it's going to be Merfolk night for a little while. So welcome, everybody. I'm Joe. Thanks for joining me. And I guess it is Monday night Merfolk time. It used to be on Wednesday, but but now it's going to be on Monday now. And then Thursday afternoon, I'll be doing my Soul Herder stream. And I'll try to stick with that schedule for a while. I don't think I've actually changed it on my Twitch page. Like you have like a calendar or something of events. So I'll be sure to update that. But for the foreseeable future, Monday night is going to be Merfolk night. So I'm going to pretty much just run back the list that I ran last week. I know I was just seeing on Discord, there's a lot of discussion going on about Simic builds and Copter versus Benthic Biomancer and all of these card choices, mana bases, Glasspool Mimic, all this stuff going on. I guess it's kind of the state of things with Merfolk always, and like just all the different pilots are always making seemingly small adjustments from one deck to another, but in effect, you know, it's pretty big differences. Like whether you run 4 Glasspool Mimics in a Simic build, it's a lot of lands to enter the battlefield tapped. So, you know, you might not necessarily get to play your Kumena Speaker on turn 1. So anyhow, a lot of discussion going on over there. But for my part, I've just been having fun trying to play the tap lands and flicker them. And, you know, I've been winning some games here and there. Last week's Merfolk stream was pretty remarkable just for like the level of bad beats that I was experiencing. Just opponents never mulliganing, always having the nuts, and it was fun in its own way, I guess. But I think I went 0-3 and then won out in the last 2, so ended 2-3. It could have been much worse. I actually got paid out like some pittance after that ridiculous league. So tonight we'll hopefully do a little bit better. The plan this evening is just to try running Master of Waves over Regery as sort of one of the curve topper Merfolk. In my view, and there's so many different ways to look at it, that this view is not necessarily the correct view, but if you're playing mono blue, it's a deck that is not trying to win as quickly as Simic, and so you know, main deck Force and the Tempo Bears are trying to get you a little bit further into the game, at which point, you know, Master of Waves is actually kind of a bomb, whereas in builds without Master of Waves, the best top decks that you can hope for are Lords, and if the opponent is just removing all your creatures, then maybe drawing a Lord off the top isn't the best. To sort of support Master of Waves, I am back on 4 Cs. I had previously been running 3 Cs. I think this just tracks back to, I think this list came from Bishark, and he had this tech before anybody with flickering these new tap lands. And he was running, I think, 3 spreading Cs in the main and 1 in the board, but I brought the Cs back into the main. Again, just devotion for Master of Waves. Sideboard is going to stay pretty much the same, I think. Just sort of some catch-all tech. You've got Relics and Deprives, trying to shore up graveyard matchups, combo matchups, control matchups, etc. Echoing Truth just to try to not lose to Ensnaring Bridge and similar effects. Ether Gust to help us against Titans and other red-green stuff. Dismember just to kill creatures. So, hey, Ferdy, welcome to the stream. Has it been a long time for you? I think last week, I think I did a Merfolk stream on Wednesday, so not too long ago. Actually, closer together Merfolk streams than usual, since it was Wednesday to Monday. So anyhow, I'm just going to get things underway. Deck tech, I mean, kind of speaks for itself, I guess. Just 2 Cavern of Souls in the flex slots, 8 basic islands, either vial, you know, Merfolk stuff. Oh, Ferdy, well then welcome back. Were you away? Were you traveling? Or, I don't know, you just unable to join me last week maybe? So, definitely not playing Vial Herder here. We want to look for Mer Herder, which is another way of saying Flicker Folk, I guess. Not an actual Soul Herder in this Merfolk deck. But maybe there could be if I splashed white. Something to think about. So let's submit that. And just double check. Pretty sure that is the name of this silly deck. Yeah, life definitely does have its way of getting silly now and again. All right. So, M. Hayashi back up on the top of the table, just killing everybody. I haven't seen him in one of my leagues in a long time. I wonder what his current prowess deck is looking like, whether he has adopted Scourge of the Skyclaves and Death Shadow, or if he's still on his kind of like Lava Dart Luris build. All right, well, let's check this out. We do have a bunch of these tap lands here. So we could go like turn 1 Umara Wizard, turn 2 Island, into, normal Merfolk plays. A little slow without Aether Vial being on the draw. Opponent's starting with 7. They've got a fancy avatar. I mean, still trying to figure out like how this weird build works with 8 tap lands. It seems hard to ship this though, so I'm going to keep, and we'll just sort of see how it goes. Flagstones. So this might be that green-white Titan deck, which is a miserable matchup for us, but they usually mulligan until they find Elvish Reclaimer, I think. So probably not that. I mean, the other Flagstones deck is like Martyr. So next turn, are they going to make white mana and then play a second Flagstone? So... well, I guess there's many options here. Many possibilities, I should say. Okay, so some kind of taxes deck, I guess. Aether Vial would be really good in this matchup in case they start hitting our lands with Arbiter. But let's see what they've got. Okay, so they're hitting their own land. I guess they're a little bit short, but they didn't even float white. Huh, I guess they don't need the white mana. So it is that Reclaimer deck. Which is terrible. Particularly without main deck Dismembers. Like, this guy is so obnoxious. It's like you can't even keep Spreading Seas online, because at any point this guy can just sacrifice a land. It's not like Night of the Reliquary where it says sack a forest or a plains. Just sack a land. So like they can just, even if they don't have Ghost Quarter, they can just blow up our Spreading Seas. So I think our best chance here is just to play Lords and start attacking as soon as possible. So you guys are going to get to see, if you're not very familiar with it, this deck is pretty busted. So he's 1 land away from becoming a 3/4 1-drop. That's pretty good. Okay, tapped Field of Ruin. Field of the Dead. For some reason I was looking at Ghost Quarter, I guess. This is interesting. I could do this on the opponent's upkeep. Now, if I attack, they can block and activate, and then this thing will be a 3/4. So this is how they get you with this Elvish Reclaimer, is if you don't pay attention, all of a sudden it's just bigger than you think it's going to be. So I'm going to play another tap land here. And, I mean... even if I tap it during their upkeep, they can still activate it, which is annoying. But again, just getting in with the Master, he's just a 3/3, he'd just get eaten, so I don't really see the benefit unless I'm just trying to make everybody as big as possible. Next turn, I can play a Glass Pool, just copying one of the Lords. Maybe it's the best thing to do. I'll just do that. I don't think that trickstering this guy down on the upkeep does anything, because they'll just activate it in response, I guess, and get what. But, they have their field already. I'm not exactly sure which lands they're going to look for at this point. It's a fairly new deck, and so I'm still learning it. I know it well enough to not attack into this situation. See, you're not tricking me, opponent. Actually, they probably are tricking me, but I'm just like too dumb to know it or something. So anyhow, I was saying, welcome to the stream, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Tonight is Monday Night Merfolk. Used to be Wednesday Night Merfolk, but I'm going to move it to Wednesdays. Opponent passing again. So, like, if I go for Spreading Seas on Field of the Dead, it's kind of cool because if they want to get rid of it, they have to sacrifice the Field of the Dead, and then they won't be able to make tons and tons of zombies. I don't know how many fields they actually run in the deck. Like, if they run one, then it'd be awesome to be able to just deal with it. They also run stuff that lets them get cards back from the graveyard, lands back from the graveyard, like Ramanap, Excavator, and maybe even Crucible. So, I think I might just go ahead with the plan here, and just copy a Lord and start attacking. Oh no, I'm sorry. I guess I'm gonna make Master of Waves. I clicked the wrong clicky thing on that. So, all right. I think if I put Spreading Seas, that was a bit of a punt. But I guess I'm gonna make 100,000 Master of Waves tokens now. So if I put Spreading Seas on Field of the Dead, right, and then attack, they can't block because I have Island Walk. If they sacrifice this, I guess they could kill one of the Lords, block, and then, like, if they have a path in hand. But again, I don't really know what this deck is working with. If they have main deck paths, that would be interesting. Yeah. So let's see if they have a path, I guess. It would be fun if they had a path. Just blow me out like crazy. There we go. All right. Learning by the minute. Next turn we'll have 6 lands, though, and we can play like a Trickster and then a Master of Waves and get some creatures, and they won't have that path anymore. Sacred Foundry. Is this the Excavator? Dryad. Okay, well, that gives us Island Walk, which we already had it, I guess, but... Oh, all right, it's time for Valakut. That's fun. Valakut kills Master of Waves. These decks are so busted, man. Modern is pretty gross these days. All right, so we're going to get zombies and free lightning bolts just for playing lands. Seems fair. This guy gets to get extra lightning bolts. I have no way to really turn off the Dryad permanently. I don't have any dismembers in the main deck. And I can Trickster it, but then in response, they would kill the Trickster. It's just, like, I can't really win in this spot. Sort of messed up, actually really messed up with the glass pool. I meant to actually cast it. It's kind of something that wouldn't happen in paper and shouldn't happen online, but it just clicked the wrong thing and it put it onto the battlefield as a land instead of actually copying a Lord. Like, if I had 3/4/4 Lords right now, it would be pretty nice. All right, so not really sure how I get out of this because the dude just has as many lands as he wants to get out of the deck. So he gets to trigger Valakut and maybe not field in theory, since he needs to have more lands in hand to actually start triggering field. I have no doubt they actually have the lands in hand, but the real threat at this point is Valakut, which is online currently. So I play Trickster. I could play the Master of Waves. Maybe they kill him in response to the trigger. It doesn't even matter. And then, yeah, I think I'm just dead, guys. I'm just gonna scoop. Super nasty deck. And, slight misstep, and I was just immediately out of the game. So you could put that one on me. I guess Relic is good. I'm not sure if it's four of good. Maybe it is, since it keeps the Reclaimer as a 1/1 or tries to. Now they're just playing lands, and that's kind of what their game plan is all about. Like, just keep playing their land drops. So I'm not super sure that Deprive is that essential. I think they have like one Primeval Titan or something like that. Maybe two Primeval Titans. I guess Ether Gust is okay. Just gets rid of a green thing for a second. If they crack a fetch land, or if they go to search their deck with if they go to search their deck with the Reclaimer, we can shuffle the Reclaimer back into the deck with Ether Gust. So I guess Ether Gust is pretty solid. As in many matchups, I think I have to trim on this package, trim a Ghostly Flicker. And then beyond that, since Master of Waves is kind of weak to Valakut, I feel like I should probably take the Master of Waves out of the deck, which is sad because I'm just playing this deck. Like, the thing that makes this deck a little different than the one I played last week is the fact that I'm running the Master of Waves and I'd like to play with them. Harbinger, maybe not super duper necessary if we're basing it on that last game right there, just since like they didn't really even have to attack. So I guess, if they tap their Reclaimer, I can bounce it, and I've done that before, but I can start by just trimming a couple of Harbingers. Trickster targeting Dryad turns it off, but they can just respond to the Trickster, get a land, kill the Trickster, and then they'll untap on their turn, and they can do it all over again, and Dryad will be live again. So if I play Trickster, they kill it, and then I play Master of Waves, they can just kill Master of Waves on their own turn by getting another land out of the deck. So not even sure how important Force of Negations are. Like, they're just playing creatures and lands, right? So not even sure what I want to be countering in this matchup. So then maybe I take the Forces out and bring in Deprives instead, since they can actually hit their creatures. Something like 3 Deprives, and we'll just sort of like pray, I guess. I mean, on their upkeep, they can still do it anyway, because they can just activate their Reclaimer, right? They can do all that stuff at instant speed. So there's really no turning it off. Well, this is sad because I have a tap land with Aether Vial. So I have to mulligan, I believe. All right, well, we can keep this. Opponent's starting with 7, so feeling vibes from last week already. So we're going to keep this, and I'm going to put Deprive on the bottom since it's all about killing their creatures, getting the lords down. We'll say done. So hopefully they play Reclaimer on turn 1. I can use my turn efficiently by dismembering it. Play a lord on my turn. Grazer. It's just like... I don't want to dismember that thing. But maybe I have to. Maybe I have to. Just to clear the way and use my mana efficiently. I mean, I have another dismember. Whatever. Let's do this. Relic is a thing. Better to get the clock out, though. A land for my next draw would be pretty good. Any land? Sorry. I have 6 tap lands in the deck, I guess. So now they play, I guess, a Dryad, play an extra land drop. Pretty much just kill all their creatures on sight for the most part. Did not draw a land, which is kind of sad. So yeah, I think the play is dismember this thing. Play the relic. I mean, doesn't really matter the sequencing there, I don't think. Opponent's still got 4 cards. They'll be going up to 5 on their turn, and we're sort of stuck on lands with sort of silly 2-drops in our hand. Okay, Knight of Autumn. Okay, that's sort of not terrible. Play the Lord, get in with my beats. So pretty much representing a bolt here. But last turn they tapped out to play the knight, right? Or no? Let me think. I think they played Sacred Foundry tapped and played a knight. So they had no removal up at that point. If they had the removal, they probably would have played it untapped, I imagine. But maybe they thought their blocker was enough and they needed to protect their life total. It's just that I really don't want to trade a Lord with Knight of Autumn, but maybe it's okay. This is getting played tapped. Got to be careful with these things now. If they have a path and it gives me a land, then I have 5 mana. Just pretty terrible. So maybe I just get in with the Mutavault for now, but am I really going to let this Knight of Autumn hold me back? Maybe I just play the Harbinger, don't attack, and then basically have lethal on board. They'd have to chump block next turn. They're leaving up a lot of mana here, right? So like what's going on? What's the plan? Are they going to cast Collected Company, in which case attacks also seem pretty bad? You play Harbinger, and then I didn't take out any of my Spreading Seas, even though they're not that great in the matchup. And next turn, if nothing else, we can just get in with like Harbinger Mutavault. We have to sort of see how we draw. So the attack in game 1 was just to see if they play paths or if they're just more of a combo deck. Not casting their paths if they have it. Trying to slow roll a little bit here. Okay, Eladamri's Call. I think they go for Reclaimer. Dryad. Oh, no, Dryad, because now they get their stupid triggers. Oh, one of these cards needs to get banned. This is so stupid. So unfun, guys. So unfun. Whatever, I'm done. Okay. I'm having a good time. Magic is like my favorite game. It just feels pretty nasty, pretty dirty, just getting like completely wrecked like that. And like they're not even doing anything. They just played a 3-drop, and I immediately lost the game. It's possible. Like if I want to grind that match out and like really try my best to win it, then like I don't get to use my Dismembers on Grazers, and I don't get to use it on Courser of Krufix. I have to save it for Reclaimer. I have to save it for Dryad. But at the same time, like if I just leave Grazer and I just leave Knight, then I have no attacks. So this looks like a keep. Kind of weird, these hands, but opponent's mulliganing to 5. Okay. Okay, mull to 5 and play green-blue land. Makes me think about Neoform. Not sure that Neoform runs fetch lands. But we have the Force now, if it is Neobrand, so Got that going for us. Are they? Is this getting spell pierced or something? Ugh, is this another freaking field of the dead deck? I do believe it is. They mull to 5, which should give us hope, but I'm going to play the other Ether Vial right now, I think. If they want to mono-leak it or whatever, that's awesome. Yeah, in which case, oh my god, I should have played Glasspool. I'm already getting off to a poor start. But Mutavault never bad against these decks, so I could start attacking as early as next turn, so potentially not the worst land to play there. Okay. I don't hate attacking with Mutavault here, honestly. They're just leaving up, I don't know, Mono-Leak pretty hard, or Remand. Let's go, Ether Vial, come on. We get to keep ticking these Ether Vials up, which is pretty nice. So, yeah, I think we're just going to attack with the Mutavault. Not really sure if I even want to play the Glasspool Mimic. It's just extra copies of, like, Master of Waves right now. So I don't think I am going to play it. Do I want a third land that badly for anything? I don't think so. Okay. That's one fatal push that can't kill a Master of Waves, which is kind of a win. Nice. So we've got a lot of gas here now. Like getting a second land down is probably a good idea. Might as well. All right, that's going to resolve. Really don't care about these cards. So I will put these two cards over here. Say okay, I guess. They took the Remand and the Mono-Leak. Seems poor against two Ether Vials. Nah. I think Seize is the least useful card here. So how much can we hit for next turn? Let's think. I can put down 2 Lords, 4, 3, and 3. So really just 10 is sort of the max, I guess. I need to tick this up to 4 and leave this on 2, I guess. The question is whether I want to go swing for 3, 3, and 2 instead for 8 and draw an extra card, or just get down 2 Lords. I think drawing an extra card seems pretty good. Like another Force in this spot would be pretty awesome. So we're going to have less devotion if I do it that way, but it still seems okay to me. Well, huh. So putting a Spreading Seas like on Mystic Sanctuary doesn't do anything because, you know, they can still just pick it up with Cryptic Command. Yeah, we're on the same page, I guess. So they're down to 6. I'm just going to play this Spreading Seas because I have nothing else to do. This makes green, blue, red. This makes black, green, blue. They already have black. I can take them off red. So let's go ahead and do that. All right. Okay. Limiting their resources here. They're up to 9, but do they have... All right. I don't see how we lose in this spot. Even with just little fish, we should be able to win. But Master of Waves, like they don't have... Wait, they just conceded. All right, well, we got a game. That's nice. Countering that, obviously countering the Hour of Promise was pretty massive. So you bring in our counters. Obviously, all the relics are going to be sweet. Is Ether Gust good against Uro? I guess it's good enough, right? I don't know. Ether Gust is kind of weird. Dismember is certainly not good enough. I wonder if Echoing Truth is good against all the zombies. Like, let them get to like 6 zombies and then bounce those 6 zombies and reset them. But by the time they're making zombies, they have like a bunch of growth spirals in hand and like extra fetch lands on the battlefield. All right, let's start trimming. So all the Spreading Seas can come out. Harbinger seems sort of unnecessary. That brings us down to 60. And then we can sort of think about think about Ether Gust, think about Echoing Truth. I feel like in general, we just want to win before they get to the zombie making part of the game. Like, all Echoing Truth is going to do is potentially buy us, like, one more turn against a control deck, which doesn't seem that awesome. Yeah, I could see Ether Gust being good. And, you know, part of the point of my leagues at this point are just testing. Because honestly, like, I don't have hundreds of reps with Ether Gust at this point. You know, I have maybe dozens. And so I'm just not even sure, like, exactly when I want to bring it in. So you have to trim 2 cards. Maybe I can trim 1 Flicker and 1 Umara. It's like I feel so... It's almost arbitrary, like, when I cut these lands. But Master of Waves seems okay. I'm going to submit the deck. Yeah, Echoing Truth seems pretty bad in the matchup. Let's see. Opponent starting with 7. Okay. They did mulligan in the first game. I mean, this is okay, but it just turns on all their Monoliths and Remands. I almost feel like we kind of want to mulligan to Aether Vial in this matchup. Trickster is not like super high impact in the matchup, so that card could be basically anything else, and it's just a tiny bit land heavy anyway. So I don't feel terrible taking a mulligan here. Lords just die to unrevolted fatal pushes. I'm on the draw here. I think I can afford to take 1 mulligan here. What do you guys think? I mean, this is clearly a pretty solid Merfolk hand. I just don't think it lines up super well against what we're expecting to face in this game. Curious to know opinions here. Anybody have anything to say about this hand? I mean, it's a fine hand, but I'm just, if I keep it, it just runs straight into Monoleak, Remand, and Fatal Push, and I'm not going to be able to establish any kind of board presence. So, I don't know. I keep it and then hope that Ether Vial is the top card in the deck. All right, I'm going to keep it. Okay, well, that's a tap land, so do we want to play that? Keep that when we have a lot of lands. I think you want to keep these, right? So you can play them as extra creatures. The problem with this is it's so slow when you cast it just as a 3-drop because the opponent can kill your creature and then it just dies. Mutavault is pretty good, but it's like maybe the best card in the hand. So, I think I just want to play this as a land, honestly. We've got a bunch of other things, a bunch of more of them in the deck, and I don't want to be stuck with it as a tap land in my hand. I guess at that point, if they've killed all my creatures, I've probably lost anyway, but... Huh. So now I can't play that right now, or... Well, now we have 5 lands. We could actually just cast that, but I'm going to just pass and then play Trickster. Opponent's probably going to play a Growth Spiral here. If they do, I would respond just by getting Trickster on the board, I think, through their counter magic. I mean, this is always a little fishy. Like, if they do like that, then I can just still wait till their turn, go for Trickster. If they use their counter spell, on their turn, then they potentially won't have it on my turn, but imagine they have like two Monoleaks and they could cast both of them. Okay, all right, so just going to attacks here, I guess. And I think I probably want to cast this guy later now, because we're going to have 5 untapped lands, so I'll just play Mutavault and run Trickster back again. They go Fact or Fiction, which looks like that's what they're doing here. Oh, maybe not. Oh, well, all right. I don't know. Untapped and passing the turn. Pretty scary. Okay. A lot of counter magic in that deck. So now we kind of have to run out a Lord. Like, otherwise we're just doing nothing, which I don't like. And we kind of have to attack with our creatures and just see what they have, you know? Like, I think it looks like Fact or Fiction, but they could just be tapping my team. But no, they can't because they don't have triple blue. So removal plus Snapcaster to block or something. Okay, kill the Mutavault. Seems reasonable. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Rodeo-san. It's I'm mixing it up. Okay, all right. I've been spouted. It's kind of obnoxious. Flicker is not obnoxious though, and makes me want to play Umara Wizard tapped. That means next turn I can play the Lord and then flicker these things. Or, you know, play Lord. I'll play Flicker right now, but not right now. I'll just play it on their turn or after they do something here. Okay, not doing anything. All right, 8,000 lands for the opponent. If I go for Flicker here, they just field one of my things. I get Glasspool in with no creatures to copy, which is obviously bad. So a well-timed Field of Ruin by the opponent. Actually, if they try to field, then responding with Ghostly Flicker is pretty nutty. So I think I just pass with Trickster again. I think we just keep slow rolling this. And if they try to field, then I go for Flicker. See, like, hard for them to resist here, right? Yeah, let's do this. What do you got, opponent? A Cryptic Command would be pretty good, but it's just it's just a spell. This would be kind of cool if this resolved, though. Yeah. All right, well, we got a hard cast Force of Negation out of them. That's pretty good. And I think I'll use this opportunity to just get Trickster onto the battlefield. Don't want to let them untap and draw like a Monoleak or something. All right, so Veil's just going to draw them a card. Fair enough. All right, well, I mean, we're not in the worst situation in the world here. They have one unknown card in hand and are drawing up to 2. Opponent played Misty Rainforest. All right, that's a good one. So I actually kind of prefer getting the Lord countered, if anything, here. And let's see. If the one card in hand is like Snapcaster, I don't see us getting around it anyway. All right, no sense being sneaky with these islands. Play the Relic. And they're sort of fine for the time being. I don't think I need to crack this right now. Ah, they're going to make me crack this, I guess, huh? Kind of strange. I don't know, whatever. Just forcing me to crack the Relic. I guess it's okay. It's another Fire Spout. They have 4 Fire Spouts in the deck. Okie dokie. That's a card. All right, opponent super F6, so trying to draw something off the top. They draw another Fire Spout. This is lethal if they don't have anything. So don't do play here, guys. Don't do it. It's just like the worst feeling in the world. All right, well. Do they have another removal spell? Nope. Okay. Yeah, I think we play it. Whatever. Again, playing around counter spells, just getting things on the board when we can. They've already cast 2 or maybe 3 Fire Spouts. Nah, 2. Hey, Isotope. Welcome to the stream. Opponent with the Factor Fiction. Let's see. I'm going to put... It's a pretty terrible pile. They can try to get back, like if they get back Assassin's Trophy with like another Mystic Sanctuary or Fire Spout, they would get back Fire Spout. So I need to put this over here and all that other garbage over there like that, I guess. Could have sworn, yeah, I could have sworn they already did 2 Sanctuaries. Am I mistaken? Huh. Not really. I don't even know. Like, yeah, whatever. I'll say okay. Oh, see, now it shows 2 Sanctuaries. A second ago, it only showed 1, I think. I guess maybe because one of them was tapped. They conceded. All right, so that worked out. We beat the crazy Uro deck. It looks like the opponent flooded, but it's kind of what the deck wants to do, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so up 1, down 1. All right, that guy is on a trophy, so make of that what you will. First opponent was on 2 trophies. I always get paired against, like, people with trophies. I never get paired against just, like, new players, potentially not the best players. I don't know. I feel like I just cannot avoid getting paired against super spikes all the time. So Isotope, things are going well, to answer your question. always have a busy day of work on Mondays. So for those of you guys just joining me a little later, Monday night is going to be Merfolk for the near future, with Thursday afternoon becoming my other day during the week, when I'll mostly be doing Soul Herder. So put it on your calendars. Don't forget, Monday night Merfolk, Thursday afternoon Soul Herder. Part of the reason I'm doing Soul Herder on Thursday afternoons is I know I have a couple of Soul Herder fans in Europe, and at this time slot, like they can never ever join me live. So I think it's just going to work out a little better if I do one of my streams in the afternoon, so that they can actually hang out and sort of join me for the stream. It's much better if you can join live, I think. Just watching the replays isn't the same as actually being like in the chat while the league is going on. You know what, guys? I'm going to drop out of this for a second and be back in just a sec. So I think Trickster is actually sort of sneaky good in those kinds of matchups, because they do run a bunch of remands and monoleaks in the deck, so that when they tap out on my end step to play Growth Spiral or whatever, Factor Fiction, I can just like get a 2/2 onto the battlefield, and all that damage adds up. And if they are getting low, they need to start using their removal on things like Tricksters and, I guess, Mutavaults. So further down the line, like turns 5, 6, 7, you can start playing Lords, and, well, again, if they have monoleaks and remands, at that point you might have enough mana to actually pay for the monoleak. So really, you're looking for Ether Vial on turn 1 against counter spells. I also have 2 Cavern of Souls in this build. How's everybody doing in the stream? Sorry, in the chat. A little bit quiet this evening in the chat. So I was asking you guys what you thought about that hand. Ferdy suggested that it was good enough, and there's definitely a solid Merfolk hand. I was only worried because it didn't have the Ether Vial, but I've never been a huge fan of actually mulliganing to Ether Vial. There's only 4 of them in the deck, and you can mulligan away a good hand for garbage, and it's just pretty risky. Like if you mulligan away 3 islands, Mutavault, 2 Lords, and Trickster, you could very easily get a 6 that has, 6 lands or something like that. So opponent's starting with 7, and if I knew that it was Neobrand, I would keep, but I don't know that it's Neobrand, so I have to mulligan. And once again, that's 2 hands in a row with no lands. It's pretty terrible. Pretty terrible indeed. Okay. So we're going to keep this. We have to bottom 2, so this seems pretty clear cut, and like Master of Waves just costs too much, so Master of Waves, I'll say done. And turn 1 Inquisition, take your Ether Vial, and I lose. Inkmoth Nexus, so I guess Infect, right? again, without main deck dismembers, well, Force is a good one, but we're so low on cards that we may just end up not playing out the Umara Wizard just to have something to pitch to Force. Okay. Bouncing the Inkmoth Nexus is going to be pretty sweet, or trying to. Okay, so we got an island, which means that Umara gets paired to Force, which is pretty good for us, actually. So unless they... I mean, I'm not doing anything with my mana this turn, so I might as well attack. And we'll hope that they don't kill us next turn. They very well could. I guess I have the Force, so they're not likely to kill me next turn. Haven't played any islands yet. We'll see what they get with this Wooded Foothills. Probably just a forest, right? Little greedy. Little greedy. Let's see how it goes. So we're not responding to anything unless, well, if this is scale up, I think that's the one that we want to counter just because it's tons and tons of damage. Could have another scale up, but, you know, so be it, I guess. I mean, it looks like they're leaving up like my vines, which is sort of rough for us. Island's not really what I was hoping for here. We're very much priced into holding up Harbinger here. Now, after casting Scale Up, I don't know what the odds are of them having... So this is now a 2/2, effectively. So they need to have 6 points of embiggening. So this does it by itself, pretty much. Yeah, I think we have to hold up Harbinger. And it might as well attack, take him down to 11. Next turn, we're gonna, yeah, it's still like a 3-turn clock or something. Does playing the Lord make sense? Don't think so. If I just cast the Lord here, it means next turn I get to swing for 8. Still doesn't really do it. So I think I'll just attack with the Mutavault. They could block and then make the Hierarch big, but that just seems like a very strange line. Like, why would they even consider that? All right, so pretty sure we're just dead here. We don't have enough interaction. But, okay, here we go. Let's see. If they do not buff it, then I just play them. I just play the Lord, I think. They already played a land this turn, though. Ugh, okay, so 2 for this makes it a 6/6. And then that's still not lethal, right? So we just let it go, I guess. Up, they're going for it. This is amazing. This is the worst Infect player. I mean, look, that's pretty harsh, but this is not the best play opponent. And the opponent can't even play their Inkmoth out right now because they played a land already. Pretty rough. Oh wait, does this already have? Oh, I got blown out. My bad, guys. I'm getting so like they did a kicked vines. I think I know what I'm talking about here. So let's bounce the Hierarch and then get beaten by an opponent who does know what he's doing, and I can just man, you guys are quiet. You're not even pointing anything out, like the fact that it already had hexproof. Okay. I should have responded to the kicked vines, honestly, but the opponent is a good Infect player. They sequenced their thing correctly. They had 2 protective spells, and they just held up the second one. So Honestly, I messed up my sequencing slightly, but don't think it mattered too much. In this matchup, you just bring in as much interaction as you can. Hope that it lines up well. Like Echoing Truth, obviously not good against Inkmoth Nexus, but good against all their other threats. So keeping all the forces. The slow lands we can pretty comfortably trim on. We're not really looking to flicker things, I don't think, just because it's the opposite of a grindy matchup. In the past, I've cut a lot of lords in this matchup just to make space for all the interaction. And I think that's sort of fine, but we also want to trim on Master of Waves since I think in that game we didn't even get close to 4 mana. So keep one Master of Waves as sort of an alternate go wide kind of win condition, and then trim down to 4 lords. These are just our mana base, so we can't really trim too much on our lands. And we'll see how it goes. So, hey Kale, welcome to the stream. I just totally blanked out on the fact that the opponent led with a protection spell. For some reason, I thought it was like a Groundswell or something, but it was a Vines. And this, I guess we can keep. It's pretty slow. It's got some tempo bears, and then we still have tons of hate in the sideboard. I think I would lead with the tapped Umara. Yeah, we'll keep this, I guess. But it's just part of the mana base. I don't think you can just take out all of the yeah, it is funny looking Soul Herder. I don't think we can just take out 4 of our lands kind of randomly like that. Just playing too fast and loose with the mana math. Opponent thinking deeply now. Okay, there we go. Another Umara, so maybe that's on turn 3, but maybe it just stays in our hand forever, and hopefully we'll draw a force at some point. So name Merfolk. I am just going to let them go to combat. It's too early in the game to worry about doing like upkeep trickster stuff. Like if they're empty-handed, I might do that, or if they're on like 1 card or 2 cards. Okay. Now, I'm sort of fine taking regular damage here, so I think I'm just going to let it attack. Hopefully they spend a pump spell, and then I trickster it after that. Also fine with just taking 2 here. Well, no, I kind of want to force it, because then I want a Harbinger on their turn. So let's go to blocks. Say okay. I think they just F6'd here. Although, I don't know. Let's see. Just try to turn off the infect here. Because if they have a protection spell, I kind of want them to use it now. It might not be the best time for them to use it, but let's see how this goes. I mean, like Blossoming Defense would be good because it gets 2 more points of infect in. But it would be good for us because we get to Harbinger the Glistener Elf on our turn. All right, so opponent in the tank here. Looks like they're going to let it go, which is probably pretty smart, I'd say. All right, well, maybe not that smart. I don't know. But they do have another Glistener Elf. Spreading Seas, not super relevant yet. So I will just play Umara tapped. Play the Harbinger. Actually, hang on a second. Could probably want to get in and then line up blocks next turn. So whatever. With Harbinger, that's what I'm saying. Okay, no blocks. Harbinger is actually a pretty nice thing to copy with Glasspool. In theory, bouncing the Glistener Elf there not super relevant since they're getting in with one creature anyway. Now this is the real threat here. Blighted Agent can just ruin us. Are any of you guys here expecting Soul Herder and hanging around even though it's Merfolk? I hope that's the case. All right, so I mean, I feel like this is an easy block, but if we block, we're not bouncing anything, but bouncing things at this point. Actually, I think we might need to pass with. We don't have Harbinger in hand. We have Glasspool in hand. Yeah, I mean, sometimes Infect just gets a bunch of creatures, and then it becomes pretty difficult to sort of hold them back. If I don't block here, I think the best they can do. Blossoming Defense, I guess Groundswell. They did play a land. Take 6 next turn. It's like a 2-turn clock. And blocking means that we're effectively not planning on actually attacking anytime soon with our stuff. All right, I'm going to take this 2 or try to take this 2. All right, opponent's letting it go. Force is kind of a cool draw, I guess. So now we can play Cavern and name like Rogue or something. This doesn't really excite me that much, but I mean, no reason to do it now. I think we probably just go to attacks now. If they take this and then we play Glasspool, it will be lethal if we top deck a Lord. Wait, I wanted to play this and name Rogue. And I'm just going to target the Harbinger or copy the Harbinger. Doesn't really matter. And we're going to hope that this this Force of Negation can get us there. I don't have high hopes. Okay, starting with the redraw is kind of a good sign, usually. Another Glistener Elf. Can't block, opponent knows that. Okay. Lord, off the top, one time. Ugh, can't even cast that thing. I mean, I actually can cast it. I can cast it. But do I think I'd prefer to just go Spreading Seas and hope to draw Lord, basically. Then I can even just leave up Hardcast. Leave up Hardcast Force if I feel like it. Let me hit cancel here. If I play Spreading Seas, draw Mutavault, do I want to? I don't think I don't fight if they counter this or try to counter or protect with this Spreading Seas. So I'll start like this. Opponent could just have like some counter spells in hand. This is like a Spell Pierce, Mystical Dispute. That's totally fine. You got it. Okay. All right. So attacking with they didn't get in with this thing last time. They didn't cast any spells, so Just get in with 2 of these guys, see how they block. Okay, it's interesting. It's going to shrink my creatures down a little bit. If you draw a Lord, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's clever. Well, let's see if they go for some kind of pump spell here. Possible they just have lands and maybe creatures in hand. They already burnt one of their counter spells. Possible, again, they're just sitting on a bunch of counter spells. I'd love to draw a Merfolk here. Maybe like a Harbinger would be good. All right, passing the turn after thinking for a little while. Mutavault. Nice. So now I can't even risk casting the Silvergill and not drawing a blue card. So I could just get in with my creatures. There's no blocks to be had. And if I cast Silvergill, I can't even cast a Lord now anyway, and I already covered the fact that this isn't even lethal right now with a Lord, unless the opponent cracks a Wooded Foothills. Okay, so Mutavault gets played. Sitting back with way too much mana. So I'm pretty sure if they draw a... I mean, we've got mana to pay for another Mystical Dispute, but... Mystical? Or yeah, Mystical. They don't need much to win here at this point. I haven't really brought the heat this game. All right, so I mean, like, I think we have this here, particularly with Dismember now. Dismember was a good one. So the thing is, they block a 2 and they take 4. So that doesn't win for them. So activate Mutavault with this land, hold up Force over here, and hold up Dismember over here, or whatever. So I think we should be good to go. I mean, they could have their own Dismember, but they can't really cast it right now. What a weird game this was, or is I guess I'll say. So we let them do whatever they need to do to save this game, and then I can just dismember the Blighted Agent, I guess. The Dryad Arbor. So now I think we let this go. So block 2, they're taking 2. If I dismember and they counter, I can pay for the counter. They could counter again. I still have Force up on their turn, but I'm dead to Blighted Agent anyway. So I just can't let them untap with Blighted Agent if I let them untap at all. So if I want to just... this is tricky. If I go after... I think I go after the Blighted Agent. This is weird. The fetch is pretty cool. Oh, that's a great call. That's a great call. So they do have to block with the Hierarch. So I think I let this happen, right? They're going to block They have to chump with one of them, at least, or both of them, I guess, right? So they're losing mana sources here. Taking 2. Now, I think I leave up Dismember and Force on their turn. And I might as well just do it during their upkeep to hope that they don't draw into more stuff. And just like fingers crossed, I guess. I could go, yeah, upkeep is better than doing it now, I guess. Unless they do something on my end step. So if they go for Mystical Dispute, we can pay for it. Then they have to have something else, and then we have Force. Okay, Dispel. So now, do I want to fight over that? I guess not, because they haven't been using pump spells to this point. I guess I fight over it. And yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm sure they have another counter because they've just been sitting on cards all game. So we'll say no, and anything does this. Like if they have a Hierarch here, if they have a Groundswell, if they have a Vines, it's just like everything does it. Ugh, okay. I don't think I could have done better than that. It was a. What does it matter if I pitch a card? I have nothing else to do with my mana, right? So you're saying if they had Remand, maybe? Then they remand it, and I still have the card. I can cast it twice. I don't understand. What is the... Oh, did I? So I guess I punted again. I guess I did. That was the whole situation. I guess I actually said that and then forgot about it. I was thinking Dispute at first, and then they cast Dispel. I was thinking, okay, no Dispute. Of course. I actually even said it myself. Just ridiculous. So I shouldn't have lost that game. You guys should be playing and not me. Of course I should pitch the card. It's just like really stupid. I actually said it multiple times. I said it on my turn. I said it on the opponent's turn. And that's actually like why my clock was lower than the opponent's, because I spent so much time thinking. Thinking for nothing. I think I played against this guy very recently. Yeah, but it's just so stupid. Like, I literally said, like, if we go look at the replay, I literally said I want to be able to pay for Dispute like 1 second before that. All right, this is already not going super well here. I don't think I can cast this Glasspool Mimic here. And I mean, if I'm not... I've got a Lord next turn with a nice attack, so... I don't really think I want to attack into this. Could just be another Thalia in their hand. So I think I just pass. All right, Stoneforge. So Fire and Ice kills Master of Waves, which... Man, I should be in game 3 against Infect right now. Like, what am I even doing? Flicker does save stuff, though. So if they go for, like, I mean, it's going to take a long time to get to 7 mana to go like Master of Waves plus Ghostly Flicker. I mean, this is already on 3, so it's like Flicker Wisp, so they Flicker the Lord. Doesn't really do too much here if all they have is the sword in hand. But next turn they're getting in with the sword and they're going to be able to shoot something that we play. I can Flicker in response, which is fun, but doesn't really accomplish too much because we're still getting hit for damage. I mean, we could potentially blink a Silvergill Adept. So if I play the Lord here, to activate the Mutavault, attack, I mean, what do you do against Sword of Fire and Ice, like in a spot like this? Try to do something. Opponent maybe with Path plus, Stoneforge activation. I mean, if they have Batterskull in hand as well, then they just Path the Lord and he just gets to eat one of my creatures. Okay, all right. Well, they did have to pay for the Path, which is interesting that they chose to do it that way. Okay, we flickering Stoneforge, I guess. Flickering my land. I don't have Island Walk anyway. All right, I mean, it's sort of fine. Yeah, I agree. I mean, not just bad, sort of unbeatable. I mean, so I play a Lord here, flicker it and Umara and see if that gets us anywhere. Like in response to their fancy sort of Fire and Ice trigger. Maybe they just have extra paths laying around. So if we take this target away, I think they don't even draw a card. So let's see how this goes. Oh god, I'm so stupid. Thalia's on the board. I just feel like I've never played Magic before sometimes. Just like, I don't know. I'm laughing because if I wasn't laughing, I'd probably be crying. Okay, well, keep that punt counter warmed up. Doesn't seem like it's gonna slow down anytime soon. All right, so once again, Master of Waves not optimal if the opponent is bringing the sword. The forces are not amazing. They've got Ether Vial, so counter spells become bad, and they don't have a lot of non-creature spells anyway. But then, what am I doing? Could try to sort of cheese something with Deprive. And bring in some number of Master of Waves to just, I mean, Echoing Truth bounces a sword or something like that. Potential blowouts. Oh, God, I don't even know. Like, I'm trying to play a build of Merfolk that has some cool interactions because I like cool interactions. I mean, I also like punting, which is just like something else entirely. Like, you can say any number of things about like the level of my play this evening, but like if Merfolk is just gonna be play Kumena's Speaker on turn 1 and try to attack before the opponent kills you, it's like not a deck that I want to play. It's just so boring. Like I'd rather play Burn than play that deck, I think. Jesus. All right. So Ghostly Flicker, I guess with Glasspool is okay. We can't play Silvergill on turn 2 anyway, so maybe we plan to get Glasspool down on turn 2. It's super slow. With the, you know, the Windmill Slam kind of big finisher being Ghostly Flicker, getting us like 1 extra card and maybe 2 extra cards if we copy with Glasspool. Actually, no, that doesn't work because Glasspool entering the same time as a creature can't copy that creature. So not even that great. I mean, I'm going to keep and put an island on the bottom and just hopefully start drawing Merfolk, basically. Okay. Had a match like this last week where I just kept bouncing their Ether Vial. Well, as I said, I couldn't cast Silvergill this turn anyway, so kind of cool to draw something that I can cast on turn 2. Not the best since they have the Ether Vial, not really screwing them so much. The second Ghostly Flicker not feeling amazing here. Okay. So I can't really play this here. I can play my Silvergill now. The Spreading Sea is pretty bad here because if I target their Ghost Quarter, they just Ghost Quarter their own land and go get a Plains, and then they're sort of better off than they are even right now. So that only leaves me with putting this Ether Vial down. I'm going to tick this Ether Vial up to 3, try to put Glasspool Mimic down next turn. Maybe they'll tap out and I can actually do something with Spreading Seas. All right, Giver of Runes. One of many cards that makes this matchup sort of tricky to keep track of everything. I mean, last game I just lost track of Thalia, which is just disappointing more than anything. Okay, once again leaving up Ghost Quarter. Okay. So are they turning off Ether Vial now? Fun. So they have a sword. I can't use my Ether Vials. I can't cast my Silvergill Adept because I don't have a Merfolk in hand. I can cast Spreading Seas, but have them just blow up their own land. Can't vial anything in. Ugh, it's just miserable. Just miserable. So, I don't know. Whatever. Like, if you want to Ghost Quarter this, it's sort of okay. Like, the Ghost Quarter is going to... Oh, they didn't do it. That's weird. Alright. So, I mean, now I can potentially... Echoing Truth, like, the Phyrexian Roker just gets protection from Giver of Runes, and I'm effectively sort of locked out of the game at this point. Opponent can't use their Ether Vials either, which makes this sort of interesting, but they do just keep getting in with protection. They don't have white mana well, they can get white mana with Ghost Quarter, so They can get the sword onto the battlefield. So it's just, it seemed poor to me that the opponent didn't respond with Ghost Quarter. So I'd like to use my Ether Vials, but the opponent would also like to use their Ether Vials. So I could Violin Trickster, not Violin, but Flash in like on their end step, for example. It would turn this thing off. They could give it protection, it wouldn't do anything. Yeah, it's unfortunate because I can't cast Echoing Truth and Trickster in the same turn to try to like definitively like shut this guy off for a moment. But now I can at least cast Silvergill Adept, which I guess is what I'm going to try to do here. The opponent's going to get the sword onto the battlefield. This is just terrible. Oh wait, hang on a second. I might as well play. Maybe I should have done this last turn. Maybe I missed my opportunity actually. I don't think it makes a big difference here, but I can't vial it in, so I might as well just might as well put it on the battlefield. It potentially makes a difference. Well, whatever. I'm getting wrecked by sword once here. All right. I mean, this thing now has protection from blue, so we're never trickstering it. I mean, I can Echoing Truth the sword and try to get there, and they can't give the sword protection. So I guess that's our line. Like, so we can't leave up Ghostly Flicker. We have to leave up Echoing Truth. We're going to have one stupid Silvergill sitting on the battlefield. And just generally not doing very much. So they attack. I bounce the sword. They give it protection from blue. I think I'm still just toast, right? Like, so I can't actually kill the Revoker because it has protection from blue. I mean, it has protection right now from the sword, but it can also get protection from Giver, right? So it's redundant. So I can let them attack, take the 4 from the Revoker. They go after Silvergill. I flicker. I get a Glass Pool. Copying Silvergill still doesn't do very much because I can't answer this Revoker. Except, you know, like, keep drawing cards. I mean, I'll sort of see where I can get with it, but Echoing Truth is not the way, I think, here. So it's kind of depressing because these days I'm playing Merfolk for fun, as I've said a few times. Like, this Flicker version is pretty interesting to me. I'm not necessarily prioritizing like getting published right now. So and I'm like making a few mistakes because I'm not actually playing Merfolk that often these days. So I guess maybe that makes some of you guys just not want to watch, which is resulting in there not being many of you guys here with me now, which I don't know, you know, how to sort of roll with that, because I want things to be entertaining, but at the same time, I want there to be a bunch of you guys here with me. It's sort of big part of why I stream. So they're going to blow up my land. Fair enough. Let's see if I can blink a Silvergill at the very least. Yay! Ooh, Dismember is kind of cool. So they're not going to draw a card. This would give it pro blue. All right, well, I mean, we're sort of getting closer to being able to do something. Another Giver of Runes. So Harbinger here to sort of force the hand on Giver of Runes would be kind of interesting. But if this gets bounced, he can just Violet back in, so it's not even that interesting. So hold on. I can if I Dismember and then Dismember again, opponent probably has like Flicker Wisps in hand that they can just kill me in the air. Then I do have Tricksters to sort of help. And then after that point, they're still going to have the sword. They can just re-equip to whatever and give it protection for the rest of the game. So I don't know, guys. I guess I can kill the Giver of Runes. Both Givers of Runes. Then this guy, I go down to 4 life. This guy's just going to kill me. I'm just like in too deep of a hole here. Just gonna scoop it up. Fighting against Sword of Fire and Ice. It's just very difficult, particularly when the opponent has shut off my Ether Vials. So, good games, opponent. Another guy with 2 trophies in this very young league. Like, even though I'm not doing very well myself, still seemingly can't avoid getting paired against very, very good opponents. Not that I want to. I like playing against good opponents, but maybe I should just be doing Qs if I'm playing like a deck more for fun. I don't know what the best answer is, but currently 1-3. We were in this position last time, and we find ourselves here again. So I think the main reason I like playing the Flicker build is, as I mentioned, it's got fun, interesting interactions. But it's also new stuff, right? And I like testing and playing with new stuff. So I think the assumption can be pretty safe that like it's not like the most optimal version of Merfolk right now with 8 tap lands. It's just very unique, and in order to do it any justice at all, I need to sort of make sure that I'm not making many mistakes. And I already like, I think round 2 and 3, both of them. And maybe it was round 1, round 3. I don't know. Against Infect, I definitely punted that game away. This is borderline. It would help to know what I'm playing against. I think I'll keep it though. We're on the draw. We can draw gas and. Okay, so it's Tron. We need to draw gas. Open with Mutavault. Getting an attack, I guess. If they play Karn, it's just Ether Vial gets shut off. This game could go south pretty quickly. Blast Zone on 1, awesome. Simian Spirit Guide and Matter Reshaper. Okay, just as a blocker, a little bit weird. All right, so I don't think I'm going to attack now. Don't really want to trade with a Matter Reshaper. Interesting opening. Simian Spirit Guide. Another Simian Spirit Guide? Oh, Walking Ballista. Okay. They didn't play a land, I don't think. Glass Pool is interesting. Could play a Lord, copy the Lord with Glass Pool right now. That seems like a pretty nice line. Could also just Harbinger the Matter Reshaper, just like cast the Lord, take this up to 3. I think I kind of like just casting the Glass Pool now. I don't know why an opponent keeps a hand like this. Like, what else could we predict that they have if they're rolling like this with 1 Simian Spirit Guide? You play Lords, I guess. They're going to attack with their Matter Reshaper into the Lords anyway. And we won't block, and then we can still get value out of Harbinger. Okay, opponent looks like they're missing their land drop again. I mean, I'm the beatdown now. Opponent doesn't quite realize it unless they have like a bunch of dismembers in hand or something. Well, there's the temple, so now it's going to be a thought knot. Yeah, that's pretty gross. So spreading seas off the top makes it a 2-turn clock for us. Okay, sort of have to leave Ether Vial on 2 here. All right, shields down. Opponent knows that I drew the Mutavault since I didn't have that in my hand last turn. For those of you just tuning in, I'm currently 1-3 with this Flickerfolk build. Definitely made a couple of mistakes, completely unforced errors on my part that put me, partially at least, contributed towards me being 1-3 right now. Definitely not just like matchups or bad draws or something like that. Opponent now with 4 lands, 5 Eldrazi mana, which means they could have Smasher, but it doesn't look like they're going that way. Maybe Karn. Okay, no Karn, no nothing. You just have a bunch of removal in hand. It's hard to say what they're rolling with here. Spreading Seas is a good one. Just gonna go to Blast Zone here. And I guess I wait to play my... You know what? Hang on. They can actually crack Blast Zone here. So do I want to wait? Because if I mean, it's kind of stupid if... it's frustrating, right? Because they're going to tick it up to 2 and then kill my lords. So I kind of have to force their hand, which will take my... I won't even get to draw a card off of Spreading Seas. But I can at least hold up Force next turn. All right, so Ether Vial almost certainly down here. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Huh. That was weird. I already played my land for the turn, so I can't play this guy. If they kill a Lord, which looks like what they're... Oh, well, I still have Island Walk with Mutavault, so I'm not putting them on 2 pieces of removal. I'm going to get in with this Mutavault. Oh, hang on a second. Yeah, I think I'm still okay. Like they can dismember and then I don't know. What do they got? But Umara, once again, a pretty good card to pitch to force. Okay, so they put a counter on this guy. And now they dismember and then kill the other lord. I guess I can force the dismember if that's the case. I mean, they can just tap all their mana into Walking Ballista as a removal spell for one of my lords. Doesn't seem that awesome. They could just play the 3rd Tron land and then pretty much do whatever they want to do. Another Eldrazi Temple, 3 cards left in hand. Going to combat. Let's see what they've got here. All right, getting in with the big boys. Interesting. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, potentially representing all as dust, which would just get them blown out if that's the case. Because I definitely have lethal on board. What's going on here? Oh, God. Okay. Not what I was hoping for. Now they're just thinking if they want to let me untap or not, I guess. Second Walking Ballista. Pretty nasty. Like, removal spells that we can't counter. So something. A Trickster, a Harbinger. Not exactly what I wanted to draw. So I can cast Umara Wizard, which is now a 5. It would be a 5/4 with Island Walk. Potentially just like blocking this guy. Opponent doesn't seem like they have the best hand in the world. It does seem like I should take this opportunity to attack with Mutavaults, but then they just crack back, and I sort of have to block with the Lord, chump with the Lord, or just trade with a Matter Reshaper, which always feels bad. So I guess I just have to play Umara here. This is like the first time I think I've actually cast it for 5 mana. And then just hold up like force on the opponent's turn. Maybe I should have attacked first. I don't know. Not blocking with the Lord. Probably should have attacked first. So Reality Smash would be pretty terrible for us here. It's kind of remarkable that they've had no non-creatures so far. And we've drawn 2 forces. Force is usually pretty good in the matchup. All right, should get to draw a card off this Thought Knot. Hopefully it's a Lord. Trickster is a creature. It's not lethal though. More Eldrazi. Huh. Interesting. Well, I mean, this is all pretty good for us. So this is like Eldrazi aggro, actually. So another Lord off the top should just win it, unless, I mean, Dismember, I guess, for the Lord, but we'll have another Lord. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. So I guess Scourge just gets killed if I target it. Ballista, it doesn't really matter. So I guess I just target this thing. Lord or no Lord? It's very important here. So Master of Waves is a good card. I think I kind of need to. I'll get in with one of the Mutavaults, follow up with Master of Waves. I don't really think that getting in for 9 versus 6 is that meaningful. Get Master of Waves on the battlefield, they need to answer the Lord and Master of Waves, and we have a force up. The opponent's on 1 card. Of course, they can always put Ballista on 2 counters, get rid of either Master of Waves or the Lord. Yeah. If I get both of these guys turned on, attack with everybody, they're forced to block, but I don't want to trade a Lord for that thing. Of course, if they kill the Master of Waves, then they have lethal around blocks, I guess. All right, well, I don't know. Maybe I should have just gotten in with one creature there, left back more blocks. So yeah, all they have to do, oh, this is so stupid. I'm not playing very well tonight, guys, but it happens. Opponent just naturally draws the missing Tron piece off the top. Yeah, this is just miserable. Are they going? Okay, they're just gonna pump this guy up and just kill me with damage. Well, they can't quite do that, right? They can pump it twice and then kill this guy, but I only have one blocker, so I really once again not doing great. So the opponent, I should have put them to 7, not 4. Left back 2 blockers. Actually, yeah, you know, people say that Merfolk is a pretty basic deck, and then people respond, like Merfolk players, they defend it. They say it's actually a little bit complicated, a little bit tricky. And I'm not really respecting the nuances of the deck this evening. I think it's just sort of part of me not playing it as much as I used to recently. Like, could have easily just left back. Okay. Come on. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. Go to blocks. Go to blocks. Please. Oh, why? Okay. I don't know why they're timing it like this, but... So again, I should have left back Mutavault, left back Trickster, just hit for 3 last turn. I mean, I would have lost the Lord, which is bad, but I wouldn't just be out of it right here. All right. Well, it's not the end of the match, I don't think, right? It's just game 1. Well, it is tricky. The thing is that's frustrating is that I kind of know everything that I should be doing, but just not doing it. I think I take out a bunch of forces. Since it's like the aggro version, I don't think they're running main deck all this dust, but they could certainly bring some in. I think Deprive is actually quite solid in the matchup, particularly on the play. I kind of hate sideboarding. I guess Master of Waves is sort of weak, right, to all those walking ballistas, so I'll bring these guys back in. I'm saying I kind of hate sideboarding with this so far because it's just so different than Merfolk usually is. I think Echoing Truth is sort of fine as well. Just give me a sec. I'll be right back. The thing about that last situation is that I think I was just literally dead on board after my attack, and I didn't even realize it because like I was like halfway there to realizing it, but didn't actually think it all the way through. Because I only left back the Lord and the Master of Waves, and they could put Walking Ballista up to 2 counters, kill the Master of Waves. I'd only have 1 blocker against 2. I think, and no, I was at 4, right? So I guess I wasn't just dead, right? Because, yeah, they could have only put the Ballista up to 2 and then kill the Master of Waves. I could block one of the, yeah. So, but they did top deck the, these hands are getting so annoying with Ether Vial plus tap lands. And I'm starting to sort of remember why Merfolk doesn't play all these tap lands traditionally. Okay, opponent starting with 7. Seems like Spreading Seas is pretty good. I'll just keep, and they probably play, I mean, it is a Tron deck. They probably play Chalice. So I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to put the island to the bottom, I think. Mutavault seems a little more relevant. Oh, that was a decent draw. Not attacking with Mutavault anytime super soon, so we'll name Merfolk Castar, Silvergill Adept. So cut Flicker for the Deprive. I mean, leaving in some number of flickers seems like a good idea. All right, well, we're sort of drawing okay here. If the opponent slams the second piece, we have to just play Spreading Seas, obviously. And like a Dismember or something to be able to use our mana would be nice. I think I already played my land, right? So pass. All right, third Tron piece makes sense. Okay, not making the mana they were hoping it would make. So now I think it's just time for the beatdowns. It's a pretty rapid clock. So cracking for 6 this turn, and then it's like 11 the next turn, so. Did they? Oh God, this is so stupid. Sometimes I don't know what to think, guys. They just had an extra copy in hand of the power plant. So double Thought Knot, or is this going to be a Walking Ballista now? Okay. Well, what did they deal? Oh, that was, oh my God, I don't want to win like this. That was ridiculous. It's pretty terrible. So I'm just going to keep playing Lords. All right, so opponent with Infinity mana. Infinity +1 because of Eldrazi Temple, counting twice. Okay, so I don't know. I won that game, but probably shouldn't have won that game. So still in it, I guess. Yeah, I guess everybody gets to punt every now and then, even my opponents. So yeah, I mean, I did cut one Ghostly Flicker. It seems like Flicker could actually be sort of clutch if like they're trying to kill a Lord, like in that situation with Walking Ballista. But maybe 2 is slightly overkill. I don't know. 2 seems fine, kind of, right? Like they have removal spells. We can potentially save creatures. I think I'll just run it back like I just did. All right, and this is probably like the fastest league I've played in forever. That's what happens when you just lose like immediately in every round. Okay. Chin up. Opponent starting with 7. Why would they not start with 7? Keep. Spreading Seas, maybe? Yeah, no Spreading Seas yet. This is weird. I'm just gonna hope to draw Blue Source, basically, that I can put down instead of Mimic. Okay. Mimic. Haven't seen Eldrazi aggro like this in a long time. Well, we can't cast that yet. I mean, I am going to want to cast spells eventually, but seems like well, I have Dismember up, so that's something. So let me get the Mimic down now. It's just so slow, so slow. I mean, what I've got going on in this game doesn't feel too terrible, right? I've got gas, I've got interaction. They don't have turn 3 Tron, which is sort of miraculous. So excuse me. I think I have to let this resolve. I mean, it's obviously going to resolve. Now, this just copies the base power and toughness, right? So I'll kill this. No, I'm going to kill this. Maybe just pitching a Mutavault. Take the 5. Wait, take the 5 from the Mimic and then just sort of deal with the Mimic later. I mean, alternatively, we can kill the Reality Smasher. No, I was saying kill the Mimic. No, I think I have to kill the Reality Smasher. So I'm going to take 4 from this, 5 from this. It's all pretty rough, but I can start slowing them down pretty soon. Copper Spirits, what are you saying about 2 is fine? You're just saying two Mimics? I mean, Mimic is a good card. I'm just like, when you start running Umaras and stuff like that, it just gets clunky. You get so many hands with Ether Vial and like a tap land, right? Like I think I've had that at least twice this evening. So let's kill that. We're gonna pitch one of our cards. It pretty much has to be the Mutavault, I think. Gonna take 5 more, go down to 11. We're gonna have Deprive up alongside Trickster. Okay, well, so now, I don't know. I think we still just pass, basically, here. Got a very nice hand at this point. So I can just exile this thing. Oh, but they can cast it from exile, so it can just keep coming back. So I think I probably just want to counter this. I think I'm just going to take the 2 here and get a Lord onto the battlefield. I don't really care about the 2 damage from the Eldrazi Mimic. I certainly don't want to block with a Lord. And tapping it down with Trickster, we're probably going to have more important situations to violate the Trickster. or cast the Trickster, as the case may be, but I think I'm just going to cast the Lord here. Okay, well, getting in for 10 next turn. And I think, once again, I don't really care about this damage here. So if they want to attack, it's totally fine by me. I'm just going to take it, and then I can Trickster down the Matter Reshaper here. Actually, I could just eat this thing, right? I think that's probably the best. I could tap down the Reshaper, eat the Mimic, and that should be Scoopsville, I think, right? All right, well, drew pretty well in this last game here. It's not completely over yet, but seems pretty close to it. All right, man. It seems like 100 years since I've won a match. Like, just okay. So pretty much the same result as the last league that I ran last week. So as super fun as this idea is, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's really worth it just to play it because it's fun, right? It's too many opening hands with like even multiple tap lands with Ether Vials. It's so bad, right? Like, we really like, I mean, Ether Vial is one of the cards that makes our deck somewhat competitive, right? And to make half of our mono base enter the battlefield tapped on turn 1 seems pretty bad. So, I mean, I've played it now, I think, for 3 weeks on the stream, and it's certainly fun, and it's fun when you win. I guess it's still fun when you lose, but I don't know. It's just like I kind of like winning. It's kind of part of the point of playing. If I wanted to just like have fun and not care at all about winning, I'm sure there are like way more fun decks than Merfolk, right? Like, what can I think of? I mean, like some kind of Aristocrats deck, or I mean, Soul Herder, right? Is pretty fun. So, not trying to say Merfolk isn't fun. It's just that like winning is part of it, right? You should have some reasonable suspicion that you might potentially win your matches, and I feel like a little bit too much of an underdog with 8 tap lands. So, I mean, that's sort of my conclusion after these few weeks. So, Copper Spirits, when you say exactly, were you responding to my point about the idea that Glasspool is a good card, but once you add Umara, it gets a little bit tricky? You said something about like 2, like I guess you're talking about 2 glass pools, which I could see that for sure. Not really sure at this point if I want to be running a 1-drop. I just, we keep coming back to this point over and over again. Like, it's not even like beating a dead horse anymore. It's like beating the ground where the dead horse was, but has since been like, I don't know, obliterated into like dust particles. Like talking about the 1-drop options in Merfolk. So not going to talk about it. Just gonna let that one go. Yeah. So we've had some beautiful games even on stream with like playing Umara Wizard, and then I think like against Jund I got to flicker it, and then actually I think I played like a counterspell or a dismember or something, and I played a wizard. I played like Master of Waves, and it gave Umara Wizard flying, and it went over a big Tarmogoyf, and we were able to close out the game that way, and it felt like really kind of awesome. But in the end, like most often these designations that they give to the cards, whether common, uncommon, I mean, it's mostly for draft, right? It's almost entirely for draft, but it's basically, always rooted in power level. And even though, the card might be bonkers in one particular spot in one match out of like, a month, in general, it's just not going to be that crazy. If somehow they could enter the battlefield untapped, like if these things, if they were those lands where you could pay 2 life or 3 life, I mean, that could be awesome for us, because paying life, as we've seen with Dismember, it's something that a tempo deck is pretty typically like kind of happy to do, or at least not super sad about doing. But I think they called them bolt lands because it deals 3 damage. I think the sort of mythic bolt land that blue got was some kind of splashy, like draw a bunch of cards, like X spell, and so doesn't really have a place in Merfolk. But if these guys had that option, they would be way stronger, I think, because I mean, we'd be super happy to get Umara Wizard untapped as a land on turn 1, play Ether Vial, go down to 17. Like, that's totally fine, right? We're getting our Ether Vial going. We've got our land producing mana right away. The fact that they enter tapped is just a bit too much of a drawback, I think. So I'd love to talk to Bishark, who initially came up with this concept, to see if he's been working on it anymore. And, you know, maybe we can actually try to pull that up here now. So, all right, for those of you guys who don't know, Bishark is one of the more active sort of Merfolk grinders these days. He's been putting up a lot of results. So when he came up with this idea, it seemed pretty awesome to me, but at this point, I'm getting a little bit disillusioned with it. I need to clean my palette, so I think I'm going to play at least one match of Soul Herder. Just have to find my deck. There's too many different versions. All right, and this deck has like three times as many unique cards as the Merfolk deck, so I have to shrink the card size so you guys can actually see the cards that I play. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so I'm not even going to think about the deck construction here. I'm just going to jump in, and I'm not sure that I feel like committing to a league right now, so I'll just jump into a queue. There's somebody actually waiting, which is nice. Oh, you know what? I think I stayed on Merfolk, which I guess you guys will get to see some Merfolk again. All right, so we're going to keep this hand, and we're going to play. I'm just like, that's pretty similar to me, like, punting against Infect, is like not even loading the right deck before I play, before I play my round. Pretty sure I played against this person fairly recently. I mean, I realize Bonaparte is a pretty famous name, but I think I've seen it on MTGO recently. So you guys get to see more Merfolk action. Opponents on a mull to 6, right back up to 7 since they're on the draw. Oh god. So Flagstones does not keep this text if I put Spreading Seas on it. Is this... Oh god, this is the stupid Reclaimer deck. I mean, whatever. I'm going to play the Lord. This is like, I think the first round tonight was the Reclaimer deck, and it feels just, maybe I just played this guy? Like, was this my first round tonight? And he opened with turn 1 Flagstones? And he's opening with turn 1 Flagstones again? Asking me when I'm going to learn my lesson, but oh, it looks different. I guess this is Boom Bust. Each player sacrifices a permanent. I'd rather discard a card. All right, I guess I have to sacrifice my creature. Not sacrificing my lands at this point. So that's just like a bolt, I guess. All right, let's try to get out ahead of this deck. Well, that Ether Vial could actually go quite a long ways towards helping that happen. All right, well, if they're short on lands on their side, then multiple Spreading Seas hand could actually be pretty potent. All right, well, playing lands. Okay, we're going to keep hitting their lands, I think. So mutual land destruction. It's pretty entertaining, right? Nice. Nice. Get to play 2 spells. It feels like super rare these days, but there we go. I say super rare because we've got the Force of Negation is pretty busted. Like those top few cards on the my top deck there were pretty strong. It was like Silvergill, Spreading Seas, Force of Negation. This is kind of a cool screenshot, just kind of wrecking the land destruction deck. Destroy target land. You may search their library for a basic land card. I feel like we probably don't want that to resolve, so nah. So Master Voice is pretty clearly the choice here. We're going to get 4 tokens, pretty close to lethal next turn. So it's going to be at 17. These are 3 3s. This is a 3 as well. It's 15. I think it's exactly lethal next turn. Let's see. No more. It's 15 plus force 19, I guess, next turn if he has nothing to do. That Crack the Earth card doesn't do as much now. I just sacrifice an elemental. Sort of an awesome play on turn 1 for this kind of a deck. All right, so we destroyed the lands better than the opponent did. That's that's pretty fun. We'll keep the Spreading Seas in. Yeah, I mean, counterspells seem pretty good in the matchup. Not really sure what permanents they're running. I think Planeswalkers is a safe assumption. Harbinger maybe not the most relevant. Take out a bunch of Harbingers. Actually, Ghostly Flicker could be pretty good. Yeah, that was the most fun game that I've had all night, I think. So, I'm kind of glad that I accidentally chose Merfolk again here. So the Flicker I was saying is kind of cool because if they go for land destruction, I can flicker my land. Not something people can typically do. Ether Gust seems like it could be good to like get a Chandra off the battlefield, but maybe the counter spells are enough. So I think I'll run it back. I mean, if we see something that Echoing Truth wants to hit, then we can potentially bring in... Oh, you know what? They're going to have like Ensnaring Bridges or something like that. So I should have hedged and brought in the Echoing Truths. A little bit short-sighted, but... couple lands, Ether Vial, and Force of Negation and Merfolk. Okay, well, let's see. Couple of lands. I said Force of Negation, but I got a Deprive instead. Did get the Ether Vial, didn't get a couple of Merfolk, but this is definitely a keep. Opponent's going down to 6. So this is... Okay. They're... What? I think they're thinking here still. It's definitely a hand where I just sort of play Ether Vial and then chill on my mana. Well, there's a land that we can flicker later, but we do need to get Ether Vial down now. They might make me sacrifice a permanent again, but in this case, it's pretty easy to choose to sack the island. Boom. Oh, these stupid spells. Okay, fine. So now I guess we just play Mimic since we have nothing else to do. And they're going to pillage my Ether Vial next turn. So in this situation, obviously Force of Negation, way better than Deprive. All right, opponent, give me your best shot. If you got the Pillage, it's pretty awesome for you. Stone Rain. All right, well, it's okay. Ah, there we are. Awesome. All right, so let's get blue land on the battlefield, and we'll start getting creatures down. I think at this point we probably want to pitch Ghostly Flicker. You know, the discipline play here is to keep Ether Vial on 2, even though I've got Master of Waves in hand, just because the deck is so full of 2-drops. Though we did take out Harbinger, we've still got Silver Gills, 7 more Lords, Tricksters. You know, it's like at this point, I don't even care. Like, fine, you got me. Like, I'm going to sacrifice my land. I think, you see, this is what Echoing Truth is for. Opponent's down to 1 card. I think that's worth forcing. Though, now that we know that we're playing against a Ghostly Prison deck, I feel like I don't have all day. So I should probably tick up the Ether Vial and just hope the opponent has nothing, and we just win with a combination of Lord of Atlantis and Master of Waves. Because otherwise, I mean, we do have 3s and 4s in the deck, so best draw here is Mimic. Okay, so we are extremely far behind if the opponent gets to okay, looks like we're going to get Master down. Okay, this has gone pretty well now at this point. I'm going to try to slow roll the Master of Waves, even though I can get in for 1 more point of damage here, just because. Well, just because. Anger of the Gods, pretty rough in this spot. But this should be lethal if the opponent doesn't have anything. Okay, looks like they have something, a bolt, and then I don't have quite lethal, but still 7 points of damage next turn, 2-turn clock. Okay, Pump Fake. That's kind of weird. Huh. So now I don't even attack with. Nah, we have exactly lethal. I don't even attack with the Mutavault. Just leave up the flicker, see what the opponent's working with. You get more tokens from Master of Waves if you guys don't know about that. Lightning Bolting the Lord, and then he would be set to take a lot. Well, 8 basically. This sort of seems fine, I guess, and then. I mean, I'm not countering anything on the opponent's turn. Yeah, well, the thing is, these guys are still attacking if I blink this guy. So he takes 6, but I get a bazillion more tokens. Yeah, I think I'll just let this resolve for now. I mean, they have white mana. I'm not sure they play Path, but they certainly could. Like, they're still going to die to this unless they find, like, the perfect answer very quickly. I guess flooding out this game was actually pretty good since the opponent, all their spells just blew up my lands. All right, well, random victory for the Merfolks in a queue against a random deck. So let's go ahead and load up the deck that I meant to load up, which is Vile Herder, submit, and join. I think this is a different opponent. Yeah, definitely. They had a different avatar. I think. I say definitely. So I'm going to. Oh, they have Luris. Yeah, I'll keep this. See how it goes. Turn 1 tapped breeding pool, I guess. Looking at their top deck, as usual. They like what they see, so they don't crack it. Draw that card. Black-white. So, okay, 2 Eladamri's calls. Definitely correct to just get down the Coiling Oracle here. Hopefully hit a land. Opponent's super tapped out. I mean, F6'd. Stonehorn probably going to be pretty live against a Luris deck. I don't have any blue cards to pitch to force right now, but they didn't crack their land here. All right, so this is probably just the black, the black-red new hotness, I guess. Path is awesome, but we're sort of backed up on white mana at this point. We've got double blue. We definitely want to get double green online, so like a Temple Garden here is probably going to be the best. Just going to wait. Still, I could hardcast Force if it's relevant, but I feel like it's more likely that I'm just going to path this Soulscar Mage. Like if this is Inquisition or something, I hope it's Inquisition so that Stonehorn gets to stay in the hand, but I do have obviously Eternal Witnesses in the deck. So we're not blocking. Opponent with the Mutagenic Growth. This is awesome for us. Anything else? Fatal Push? No? Okay, they pass priority, which is good enough for me. So if they have Apostle's Blessing, that's pretty dirty. Again, I don't have a blue card to pitch to Force of Negation. I happen to see Apostle's Blessing in one of these decks. So I don't know, like an Eternal Witness would be fine here. Just get back the path. Okay, down to 13. So Scourge maybe? Okay, Scourge it is. That's pretty nice. I think I just play Stonehorn here then. Just uses my mana efficiently. I don't have anywhere close to, we can check out his thoughts there on the deck in just a minute. I could also play this Eladamri's Call plus Ephemerate, but by doing this, I'm making it into a 5/5, which turns on Temur Battle Rage, which is, again, sort of rough since we don't have a blue card to pitch. I do have the Ephemerate in hand, though, so I feel like it's probably just safe just to run out this guy now. They don't have Revolt online right now, so they'll have to do it on their turn. And then we can start ephemerating, trying to protect the Stonehorn. We're getting to mana where we can, like Eladamri's Call for a Soul Herder. If we ever draw a blue card, we'll have Force backup. Though, I mean, we're sort of at the point now where we could ephemerate and then protect with hardcast Force. Okay, well, that's my turn. You can go, opponent. Oh, he ate my path, okay, with Cling. Cling's a pretty good card, gotta say. Opponent's on 5 lands, so definitely hitting their land drops. Nothing I can do here, so I feel comfortable just F6ing. Just Not a big deal. Okay, so they're below 13, so it could just be quadruple shadow here now. They could also just fatal push this guy. Yep, fatal push, fair enough. Seal of Fire. Okay. They should probably put Luris into hand, unless they're holding up mana for some reason. So they're in no rush to cast the Seal of to break the Seal of Fire here. So, all right. So no Luris. Up, up, up. Okay. All right. Well, so things have taken a turn for the worse here. I can leave up Call to go get Eternal Witness. Use Eternal Witness to get back Stonehorn, but this whole plan is pretty slow. Deputy of Detention is pretty good, but I have to live to the next turn to do that. Venser is the thing, and we'll sort of see how this goes. If the opponent probably can't resist cracking this Seal of Fire, in which case I can then Ephemerate. So let's just pass the turn, see how it goes. They've got 0 cards in hand, but of course they can always escape Cling to get rid of Stonehorn, which is pretty rough for us since that's sort of cornerstone of our approach against these kinds of strategies. So maybe if they just go straight to combat and they don't try to seal to get my chump blocker out of the way, I might just Venser the Scourge, I guess. Uses my mana. I take a bunch of damage. I don't really have too many better options. If I call now for Deputy, am I going to take 11 here with Seal on the board and Luris waiting to come in? The only life gain I have in this build right now is Uro. So obviously chump blocking and ephemerating is, well, you know what? I can't force the Seal, which is sitting on the board. So ephemerate pretty bad here. I think the best thing is just to do this now. Sort of stem the bleeding a little bit. Hopefully, naturally top deck something very good like Skyclave, Apparition. Or Deputy. Again, Deputy doesn't die to Seal of Fire. Could hit themselves with the Seal of Fire, deal me 4 more damage. Tech. Opponent somehow significantly behind me on the clock. Well, not too significantly, 30 seconds, but I think my deck is a little bit more complicated. Seal of Fire to their own face. That's bold. All right, well, what else do they have? Do they have a Lightning Bolt to their own face? Jesus, and I can't even force it. I think that just does it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I can't play around everything. 5 damage to their face. Okay, so Worship is solid. Veil is solid since they do run stuff like Thoughtseize. Path is good. This whole pile of white cards is good. Ashiok is good. Gets rid of stuff that Luris wants to get, and also just prevents him from searching with fetch lands. I think at this point, well, I think I have 4 shadows and 4 shadows, 4 scourges, 4. I think it's 4 Soulscar mages and 4 swift spears. So it's like split between black and red creatures, so I don't really know that like Gust can just like it would have totally whiffed in that game, which I don't love. I always take out the forces here. It's not even like a Lava Dart deck anymore where you can like get value exiling their spell. Don't think Meddling Mage is going to be good enough here. Knight of Autumn sort of treads water, and you know there's nothing really to blow up in the matchup. Watcher doesn't really block quickly enough. Skyclave is an all-star. Teferi is really good. Soul Herder is a little fragile, but I think it needs to stay in the matchup. Eladamri's Call is just a way to get to Stonehorn or Auriok Champion. But I don't know that I need 4 of them. Like we had 2 in our hand in that game. I trim 1 of them, and the 2 drops, like the actual snakes here, are pretty important. So I just boarded out the Watchers. And Thassa is a little bit too dirtily, I think, for what's a very aggressive opponent's deck. So I don't think I'm going to get value off of Thassa. So better to board it out, I guess. So thanks to those of you who are sticking around with me, watching a little bit of Soul Herder. It's probably the last match of the evening. This hand seems fine to me. We're going to keep this. And since this is the spell, all the spells that we need to cast are green and white, so I think I just open with basics. Just go get a green. Next turn, white. Basics are going to get Death Touch going, but they're also going to let me get like my Canopy Vista untapped at some point during the game. Okay, Lavamancer. It's a pretty good card. See, I sideboarding out some number of calls. This is a little bit awkward. Not sure I care about this guy yet. I think I can take a little bit of damage and maybe just call for a snake or something, get some value going with Ephemerate. Okay. It doesn't necessarily change our plan here. I think I just let them take whatever they want here. And calling for a snake might be more aggressive than I need to be. Like, it lets me use Ether Vial on 2 next turn, but maybe I should just be getting Skyclave Apparition and just trying to kill all these stupid 1-drops. Well, opponent left me with call, so I can go get a snake and then go get Skyclave if I feel like it. So opponent knows about the Ephemerate at this point. They can kill my snake, but I'm going to untap. I'll have my mana open, so this is fine. And I can just wait till the opponent's turn, so maybe they'll just throw a bolt at my face or something, depending on what's in hand. All right, Eladamri's Call. So yeah, I mean, we could go get, like I said, Skyclave, or maybe just Auriok. Auriok Champion seems pretty good, huh? I mean, Auriok Champion dies to Fatal Push for no value. Okay. Sort of annoying. But good cards are good. Are going to want to get to some blue mana maybe at some point. So we are down a game against this black-red prowess deck. Haven't seen any prowess yet, but actually, did we see Soulscar Mage? I think we did, and I pathed it. I think that was, yeah, that was last game. Okay, Swift Spear. Huh, no attacks. That's curious. So I think I don't go for anything here. I just don't really want to tap out. So I can even just violin Eternal Witness and get back a land if I really feel like it. So yeah, that's fine. Just untap. Hey, not bad. So now we have Coatl plus Ephemerate, and I might as well, I could just violin Eternal Witness and get back the path. Seems pretty good. And if the snake is just making them hold back blockers, I mean attackers, maybe I just continue to not get in. Also, they're trying to get their life total below 13. They've got this Sunbaked Canyon to sort of do it with precision. I do need to eventually win with damage. I think I'll just get in here. It seems fine. We do only have one white mana up. If we ephemerate, we can't path. Maybe I just want to put Eternal Witness in and go get a land right now. So I already played my land for the turn though. So if I want to do that, I can do that, but I can like wait to do it. Opponent taking the damage, it seems, which would make sense again because they kind of want their life total to go lower. All right, not blinking yet on this situation over here. All right, I mean, it might force some activity here. Sort of fine taking 1 damage if that's what we're looking at. If it gets sort of crazy and it just seems like pretty big, I think I would just go with Eternal Witness, get back path. Okay. Seems fine. Take 1 damage. It's not terrible. Death Shadow. Okay. So, I think I am going to go shields down here for... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to go shields down. I'm going to get back a land, be patient. They could, of course, cling in response to this. And then I will eventually have double white up. But, if I don't get... this is tricky. I think I get back the path, but just chill on it a little bit. Okay, it looks like the opponent's going to cling. Fair enough. I could ephemerate in response, but then they activate Grim Lavamancer to kill Eternal Witness, so I think I kind of have to let this go. Now, I think it's worth losing one of these creatures to go get Skyclave Apparition here. Just kills all their stuff. So yeah, let's just call now. Okay, Skyclave Apparition seems awesome. If they let me on tap, it would be a misstep, but I guess we'll have to see what they do. Now's your window of opportunity to finally kill something. All right, they're letting me on top. I guess I don't know, like, if I ephemerate Skyclave, then they really kind of want to kill it as quickly as possible. That's a good card. I think I'm going to continue getting in with this Ice Fang. We do have another Ice Fang. Really just not worried about my life total at this point. Okay. Still just totally fine to just pass the turn. And if they tap out, I wouldn't save a creature. I think I would just Violin Skyclave and ephemerate it immediately. All right, that was awesome. And what else are we going to do? I guess it's time to throw this Coatl down, maybe even block the Swift Spear. I mean, they don't have... Do they have Revolt? Oh, yeah, because their Death Shadow left the battlefield. So they get a 1/1 back here. And I kind of have to let this go. I just Ice Fang in response, but it doesn't really matter too much. I guess I could force. I think I took the forces out, so it doesn't really matter too much. They know about the Ephemerate. They've known about it like forever. I don't really... I mean, I kind of care that Skyclave is getting killed. We can always Ephemerate the Witness to get it back. There's another Witness, so we can just get it back next turn. So this is fine. We let this resolve. Problem is we don't have mana to cast Skyclave or Eternal Witness. I think I'm just going to block here. I'm fine getting rid of their threats, or trying to. Huh. Interesting. So they're going for this. I mean, I guess I Ephemerate here. Make them spend another spell. I can always just get Ephemerate back with Eternal Witness next turn. Or just get the Snake back. Or get Ephemerate and then get the Snake back. Like, if they tap out here, this is fine for me. Right. Okay. This is all fine. Auriok Champion's pretty good, but don't have the mana. So I think just Witness, Ephemerate right now. Maybe I just use this opportunity to get rid of this guy for a turn. Could also just Vial Uro in, gain some life, draw a card, see where that leaves me. Eternal Witness can also just get like a land, but Ephemerate, Eternal Witness, and then get a land seems pretty good, actually. So maybe I'll do it that way. Yeah, I'll do it that way. So we get Ephemerate. Say okay. Say yes. Ephemerate the Eternal Witness. Get back a land. Play the land. I mean, they've got the Cling in the graveyard. It's 5 cards to escape. They currently only have 4 cards in there. I don't doubt their ability to get, but they also don't have 4 mana to cast this. So, crack this, go get Canopy Vista, and don't have double blue yet. I think just getting Deputy down on the Grim Lavamancer seems fine. Though Uro does, I mean, I can't escape Uro yet, so that's sort of the point here. I think just protecting my creatures by way of Deputy seems okay. Okay. Death Shadow. Now, actually, if we catch the rebound, I don't know what the opponent's working with here. Tapping out is good for us no matter what, because we do have the rebound coming. Nice. So we get the Ephemerate back, cast Ephemerate, get Skyclave. Okay, so yeah, as I said, and we can even just Ephemerate the Skyclave. This is pretty sick. While they're tapped out. Okay, so we want to target this first. So it's permanently dealt with, and then this will give them a 1/1 eventually. Okay, seems pretty good. We have 2 rebounds coming, if I'm not mistaken now. Yeah, 2 rebounds. Opponent on 2 cards. Okay, they get another 1/1. Pretty good for them, I guess. But the rebounds might say otherwise. Last card in hand. They put Luris. So, all right, tapped out once again. Probably not going to end particularly well for them, since, you know, now I can just Deputy the Illusions if I feel like it. They're at 3. So what's the line here? I've got 3, more than enough to kill them. I just need to get rid of their creatures. So Skyclave plus, all right, let's just, do I need to save mana for any reason? Blink the Deputy here, get rid of the tokens. Cast Ephemerate on this Eternal Witness, get back Skyclave. Kill the Monastery Swiftspear. Oh, they get the Lavamancer back. That's annoying. But I can force them to block, which seems fine to me. Yeah, so we get back Skyclave. Don't really need to play the Ether Vial. It's just more time doing upkeep triggers. Okay, so they get to get this sphere back, but it doesn't look like they're doing that. Weird. Probably should, but I don't see how it helps them. I guess they have lifelink, so they're effectively at 4. It does kind of help them. So they're casting this from the graveyard. They're at 4. They block 2. They still take 4. I think they're still dead unless they can kill one of my creatures. Now, I'm shuffling away whatever they just looked at. This is actually going to let me escape Uro. So I think we have enough white, but maybe I get more. Are they... okay, all right. Not sure that the opponent is dealing with my ephemerates in like the most effective way. I've got lethal in the air. So I don't know if any of you guys are actually watching at this point, but this is all just getting a little bit absurd. Like, I don't, opponent hanging on. Hanging on for dear life. It's making me use my minutes, I guess. My precious, precious clock. Okay, on to game 3. We did fall a little bit behind on time, but it's definitely enough time to do one more game. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay. So on to game 3. I've already sideboarded. I think I'm fine with my plan. Skyclave is pretty good in this matchup. So we have to be very careful keeping like a 1-land Ether Vial opening hand, if that happens ever against like Thoughtseize decks, because we could just lose. But this is pretty tight. I can't cast Ashiok yet, but it's nice. We'll keep this. We'll go get blue-white to start. Seal of Fire is fine. Okay. What do you got? Play a Scourge right now. Seems good. Okay, did they keep a 1-lander? Oh, no. Okay. Not the 1-lander. Okay, so let's go ahead and get blue-white, as I said. Actually, maybe blue-green makes more sense. Get that double green going already, then I've got blue-white, I've got green-green. Yeah, I guess blue-green makes more sense. Okay. So that's going to let us get to Ashiok, which is cool. Typically, I prefer to get to Fairy down first. I actually think before any of that, I'm going to get Ice Fang down. They don't know my hand yet because they haven't cast any hand disruption stuff. So I don't know that I have the Ephemerate. Well, I don't know. I don't know that Ephemerate's super relevant here. I guess we'll have to see how it plays out. Opponent shocking themselves. They must have shadows, I guess. Okay, Swift Spear. All right, well. I mean, Ice Fang does nothing against her, so I'm just going to wait still to the end step. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we can get the opponent to just burn this Seal of Fire, it just makes our Planeswalkers a little bit more robust. But it's kind of sketchy now because they can Seal of Fire. If I Ephemerate in response to the Ephemerate, the Seal of Fire will be in the graveyard and they can activate Grim Lavamancer. I mean, honestly, playing like Teferi and just minusing right away to slow them down with like Grim Lavamancer seems fine because it'll draw me a card, it'll slow them down. Just playing Teferi and plussing him is probably pretty bad because I think they could probably just deal with him pretty fast. And they do have to send 5 damage his way. Stream's getting pretty lonely this late at night. Just a Fatal Push. Okay, all right. Ooh, that Veil would have been so good right there. That Veil would have been so good right there. And it kind of makes me just want to leave up Veil right now, but that'll come later down the line. So as I said, I think just Teferi minusing to get Lavamancer off the table, they kind of have to spend their turn killing Teferi. It'll draw me another card. Hand is just like sort of clunky with the 3 drops and the 1 drop, well, and the 4 drops. So I think they were on the play. They didn't play a second land, which seems pretty good for us. Actually, you know what? They can just like crack the seal to kill Teferi right away. But all that's fine. I'm just trying to slow down this Lavamancer. I don't know. I need more creatures in this spot. Like another snake would be pretty good. Ashiok comes down. I don't think ticking down at this point makes a big difference, so whatever. I'm just going to play Teferi, and then I guess we just have to decide whether ticking up or ticking down is the way to go. I just think getting the extra card is probably like a pretty good deal. If I tick it up to 5, then they kind of have to spend 2 here, attack him, or send a bolt or something. So maybe all those resources are actually more. I've got a lot of stuff in hand, so maybe I'll just tick him up for now. The one of you who are still here with me can tell me whether you agree with that or disagree with that. I feel like it's probably pretty good either way. Not terrible, but at least they can't kill him like right now. They have to untap and do their thing. Let's see if they hit that 3rd land. The Teferi just there to sort of soak up some resources, basically. Okay, bolt on Teferi. That's 1 bolt that's not going at our face. Now I imagine probably just want to attack with Swift Spear. Clinging my land. Okay. All right, well, Teferi deflected a good amount of stuff there. So we're getting to the point where we've got a bunch of lands out and can start calling for fun things. In particular, thinking about Stonehorn. I kind of want them to keep filling up their graveyard before I slam Ashiok. Like, they obviously can't escape yet because they're nowhere near 4 lands. And I kind of want them to use this seal. So maybe now it's just like, play this. Well, yeah, play this. If I need to use Venser, I can use Venser. If they don't really force me to use Venser, then I can call and Veil. All that seems fine. So I could call, Veil, and Ephemerate if I had a creature down. Interesting, I haven't drawn any of my purges. Another Swift Spear, huh? So now I guess I need to call for like Skyclave. This seems like the best line. But then I could just do that next turn, but then I can't do the Ephemerate line on Skyclave, so... Well, currently not set to take too much damage here, so let's sort of see how it goes. Maybe I can get Venser to draw some... Like, draw some heat, either get an activation from Grim Lavamancer, but then Venser plus Ephemerate is pretty good. I can bounce their land, oh my god, bounce their lands, bounce multiple creatures. So I think calling for Skyap just seems like the best thing to do here. So I'm going to like take this damage. Hopefully that's all I take. Okay, cool. And now we will call for the Sky Captain. Our hero, I guess. Let's see. I mean, also Stonehorn is just really good, right? Stonehorn, I've got the Ephemerate. I think Stonehorn's probably just better here. So do I want to leave up Veil, or do I want to leave up Ephemerate? Important questions. I think Ephemerate's probably better because, like, Veil, I would just be going for Fatal Push, but with Ephemerate, I can pretty much go... I can dodge anything, basically. Well, if they have, like, Bolt plus these two... Actually, they can't do all of that, so let's see how it goes. Hopefully they go for, like, Seal plus Grim Lavamancer, but I did just play this untapped, so super telegraphed. Okay, well, that makes it easy for me, I guess. So that's 2 attacks in the bag. They can kill Stonehorn next turn. But now I can start going after their graveyard with Ashiok. Well, not if... Oh, Death Shadow. But they have not this attack and not the next attack. They still can't cling. They can kill Stonehorn with Seal and Lava Man, and they might want to go for that right now. You know, I'm going to... Yeah, just going to see if I can catch this with Stonehorn. His opponent want to dump all the resources in. We have another one in the bag already. Okay, so 2 in the bag still. Okay, well, that's good. I need to play fast, guys, so I'm just going to go Ashiok because it seems pretty relevant. Getting rid of that Cling to Dust. Oh, they're going to Lava Man now, which I could have foreseen, I guess, but whatever. We still have, as I said, 2 attacks in the bag, so... I think if they use the Seal, that's good for us because we'll get rid of it permanently. Okay, not using the Seal yet, so just peace out there. Graveyard, maybe we'll mill ourselves a little bit. Pass the turn. I do have to play pretty fast, so time to focus. Well, now they might have a hard time killing this guy. Oh my god, I'm gonna get to Veil here. This is so cool. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They could dismember again, but okay, they're sealing it. Interesting. Winds of Abandon. I don't have enough lands, but I'm pretty close. All right, so they're going to take care of him one way or another, but there are still 2 combats in the bag, I believe. It should say it. Yeah, it says 1 more left to skip after this. A land here would be awesome. Didn't get a land, but we can get a little bit closer to lands by playing an Eternal Witness, getting a land. Canopy Vista. Okay, I don't know if I chose the right land, but we play that untapped, and then let's pass the turn. Seems fine. They still can't attack now, and then we just kill their entire board. This is such a fun deck. Like, everybody should play this deck. What the dirtily stuff that I'm doing right now. Like, Blinking Stonehorn, Dignitary. The opponent probably doesn't know if they have an attack here. I'm pretty sure they think they do, but they don't. They will have one next time, though. Okay. Keep the creatures coming. Uh-oh. I guess they get a lot of basics, but... Anybody still here with me to to watch the fun magic going down here? Okay, so let's begin combat. And I don't know. How do we get got here? Okay, well, we can just ephemerate that and... I don't know. Get back... Celestial Purge, I guess? Okay, they put Luris into hand. And maybe they have more removal, I guess? I can just Venser their removal back to hand. So it seems like we should be... actually don't want to cast Ephemerate right now. Just want to kill the opponent. So, unfortunately, Venser is not really going to get that done here, so or get the job done. So let's just do that, and I guess we'll just get an Ephemerate back. Keep protecting our creatures, and we've got Venser up still. I could even just Venser lands, but whatever. They can play their Luris, but I'm just going to purge it immediately. Opponent... okay, I think that's sort of the end. So they're scooping here. So anyhow, thanks for sticking around, whoever's still here. It says that I have 1 viewer currently. Didn't do too well in the Merfolk League. Ended up going 2-3. Part of that was due to me not playing optimally. For some reason, I paid mana for my force when I had a Silvergill in hand to pitch, and I was specifically trying to play around Mystical Dispute, which the opponent did have, but I just was unable to pay for it since I tapped out. So I guess I need to stay more focused when it's time to make decisions with paying mana or not paying mana for Force of Negation. So ended up 2-3. Played a couple of extra queues. We won a queue with Merfolk. I sort of forget right now what deck I got paired against after in that random queue. But it seemed like the game actually went really, really well, or the match went well. And then, just had that fun one right now against Black-Red Prowess, which actually seems like it's sort of an okay matchup for this crazy toolbox deck. Like, if we get our hands on a Skyclave Apparition, could be just pretty hard for them to fight through it because everything in their deck is like a 1-drop or a 2-drop. And so this thing is pretty much just permanent removal since all they get back is like a vanilla 1/1, which, we have no problem dealing with. Well, anyhow, once again, thanks very much for joining me, guys. I'll be back on Thursday afternoon with more Soul Herder. Until then, have a good week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.